Welcome back. One of the questions I often get is, where do I put my mind? When I am attempting to enter the silence, when I have finished my technique, I've done the do and now I want to be the be. As I'm attempting to just be, where do I put my mind? Where do you recommend I just place my mind and leave it there? And the very popular place to put your mind is the spiritual eye. This was popularized by Yogananda. And this is okay. This can be helpful for some people. And this can lead to the overuse of the spiritual eye, which can be uncomfortable for you. And it's also entirely possible that because you're doing that, you'll miss out on all the good and wonderful things which are arising in you because of your meditative effort. And you want to notice all of those things. So, let's get into it. So I was in the ashram and they told me, use the spiritual eye, use the spiritual eye. It's all about the spiritual eye. And I went for it. I totally went for it. And I was using the spiritual eye all of the time. And then I had these huge Kundalini experiences that were happening every single day to me, and all the energy was rising up into my brain. And because I was so hyper-focused on the spiritual eye, all of that energy would pour into the front of my head right here. And it would feel as if my brain was going to split. Okay, it felt really, really uncomfortable and very bad and very, very unnatural. And it got so bad that all I had to do was talk about a spiritual subject and the energy would come up and the headache would start immediately. And so I would see 2 or 3 friends, they called us the 3 Musketeers. I would see those friends and they always wanted to talk about spiritual things. They always wanted to talk about, we're trying to figure out this humongous riddle of how do we actually accomplish this, because it was not plainly taught to us. So it was this huge riddle, we're trying to figure it out, and they would come and I'd see them coming, and I knew as soon as I start talking about spiritual things, this splitting headache is going to start. So I started running away from my dear friends. I would see them, I would wave, and then I would run away because I wanted to avoid that splitting headache. So I went on this very long journey learning how to avoid this problem. And I stopped overusing the spiritual eye. And when I went to train with Ashokji, he told me, use the medulla. He told me very clearly, he said, the spiritual eye is for powers, mostly. And the medulla is for realization. And I really took that to heart. I had all the evidence that I was doing something wrong. I started doing the Om Japa Kriya and using the medulla, and everything fit into place. It was amazing. Having some of that magnetic sensation at the spiritual eye or in the crown or in the medulla is very, very good. And you can see my old video about the 3 knots. This is normal. But when that is happening, you don't want to be hyper-focused on the spiritual eye like I was for years and years, because it can cause these kind of headache problems. Instead, using the medulla, using the crown, using grounding, laying down on the ground, feeling the earth, I let go, I surrender, I let go, I surrender. Doing that often, using the medulla, using the crown, this is much better. And you'll avoid that problem which I ran into. So you've done your techniques, right? You've done your HRV resonance. You are sitting very still and you just want to place your mind somewhere. Well, Ashokji would have told you to use the medulla, to go into the medulla, to focus on the medulla and rest yourself into that medulla deeply and profoundly. That was his answer, and it worked wonderfully for him. And he would go into a samadhi this way. So the body would go into the freeze response and his whole body would disappear, and he would go into a union state, a non-dual state. Now the other thing that Ashokji told me was follow the bliss. Notice the bliss. Notice the good things which are happening inside of you because of your meditation. And this is very, very important for any yogi or any meditator. We need to notice the good things which are happening inside of us. So I want to present to you 4 levels of noticing those good things so that nothing goes unattended. First, as you are sitting very still, you're practicing the HRV resonance, you're doing the Om Japa in the chakras, and you are sitting very still, then you will notice one or more of the 4 proofs. Maybe your hands will get hot and heavy. Maybe your lips will begin to tingle. That's another. Maybe you will feel pressure along the dorsal vagal. Maybe that pressure will turn into a kind of tingling. And maybe that tingling will turn into a bliss. Really wonderful. Maybe your entire skin will begin to tingle. And now you're really getting deep into the parasympathetic system. Noticing any of those good effects means that you have entered into your parasympathetic system, and yay! This meditation is a complete success because you are no longer stressed out. You are no longer in the sympathetic system. You are at peace and you have entered into the parasympathetic system, and this is the first level. This is the first tier of noticing the good things. And when you notice those good things, you soak them into yourself. And your subconscious and your body gets what you are doing. So the next time you come back to meditation after soaking in any of those good effects, those good things will come quicker and faster because you have been soaking in them. Now, this next level is more to do with your feelings, more to do with your heart. They're not really emotions. They're good, positive state effects. And so you might notice that you feel calm. You might notice that you feel tranquil. You might notice that you feel peace. You might notice, oh my God, I feel joy. Or, oh my God, I feel bliss. Or, oh my God, I feel love. Any of those are amazing states to recognize inside of yourself because you are going deep into yourself. You're entering into the parasympathetic system. And as you do that, you step away from the worldly cares. You step away from the lower concerns of the lower 3 chakras. You get up into your upper nervous system, and it's a different world. It's a totally different world. Same things going on in your life, but you have transformed. You have entered into a new internal world in your upper nervous system. Calm, peace, tranquility, joy, love, bliss. If you can soak in any of those, oh my God. And now you're setting yourself up for such tremendous success in every meditation that you can find these deep states. You can find this calm and this peace and this love and this joy in a deeper way than you've done so before. And it will come quicker and faster because your subconscious and your higher self and your body all get the idea of what you are doing, and you find it quicker and quicker and faster and easier and more often. And that means your whole life gets more peaceful and more tranquil and more joyous and more loving and more blissful than it has been before. Do you see the power of that? Now, because we've been soaking all this time in the parasympathetic system, it gets more powerful. And we start to encounter the freeze response. And with the freeze response comes the tranquil breath. And along with this, we're doing the Om Japa in the chakras. And so because of that, we might feel ourselves rising. Like I said, we might rise up into the heart. And if you do, you've had a roll-up of consciousness. And it goes from the heart to the throat, to the medulla, to the crown, and to expansion. So those three things, the freeze response, the tranquil breath, and the roll-up of consciousness, those three things, if you notice any of those, this is the third tier of noticing the wonderful deep states. This is the Paravastha, the after effect state. I did the do of the technique of HRV resonance, Om Japa in the chakras, sitting very still. And these are the glorious effects that I am finding inside of myself. When Patanjali talks about sense withdrawal, that is the freeze response. It is a gradual withdrawal from the outside world. That roll-up of consciousness, it's a withdrawal from the lower concerns. And so now you're pulling into yourself wonderfully, deeply, gloriously. Soak in that. Become the holy potato and soak it in. You're just soaking in the pot of these glorious things. And so your subconscious and your body gets the idea. All of this happens quicker and easier and faster inside of every meditation because you have been soaking in the good results. And I've seen yogis be in this wonderful deep state and they're like, I have to do. You're running over all of these good things. Don't do that to yourself. Soak them in. Be the holy potato. What does the freeze response look like? First of all, you might have tingling in the skin. You might notice that parts of your body kind of disappear from your awareness. It's like I have half of my body, I don't have the other half. I have the upper half, I don't have the lower half. I don't have my left leg, I have my right leg. I don't have my right arm, I have my left arm. It's all these strange things that will drop away from your consciousness. You might feel the body as numb. That's a word a lot of yogis talk to me about. And this is not the kind of numb where when one part of your body falls asleep. That's not what I'm talking about at all. No, the parts of the body or the entire body will feel numb. They will feel as if it's not as, I felt it this much and now I feel it this much. And the way I describe that, I say the body becomes ghost-like. So I felt the body this much and now it's like a ghost. It's not there so much. It's really gone down. Another freeze response, I will feel that the skin has become solid, frozen, like a shell. And the inside of me is swimming with energy, but outside it's completely frozen. And I don't even want to break that shell. It's just so wonderful and delicious. That's a freeze response. All of that is the freeze response. And this might go so far as the entire body begins to disappear. I wrote to my guru, I said, I'm just the skull. I just feel myself, I'm getting into this state over and over again. I just feel myself, I'm only in the box of my skull and the whole body is gone. And he goes, nothing, there should be nothing at all. No box, no skull, no box. Keep going. I'm like, all right, I'll keep going until everything is gone. But that's that wonderful freeze response. That might be what it looks like. This is the sense withdrawal that Patanjali was talking about. That's how it works in the meditation. Body asleep, mind awake. Beautiful, right? Soak all of that into yourself and it will come back stronger and faster and easier, easier and easier to find in every meditation. And that's what we want. Okay, that was the third tier. The fourth tier is when you begin to lose the edge of the body. So Lahiri Baba, if you look at a picture of Lahiri Mahashaya, you can see he's not wearing a shirt as he's meditating. And he didn't have to pose that way. He posed that way for you. He's giving you a secret of the yogis. They would meditate without a shirt because the shirt rubs against your skin just a little bit, and it's enough to keep you more aware of the edge of your skin. And if you meditate without the shirt, then it's easier to lose the edge of your skin. Now, the temperature has to be right, okay? If it's too cold, it's not going to work correctly. But if you're in a fairly warm environment and you think you can meditate, and you're private and you can meditate without a shirt, well then wonderful. That's perfect. It will be easier to lose the edge of your skin. And so the yogi will I often get reports, Forrest, I felt myself in the air around me, like I couldn't figure out where do I stop and where does the air begin. Like usually it's like I know exactly where that's at, and I couldn't figure it out in my meditation. I felt like this blob of energy, or I felt like I was floating in the air, or I felt like I was in my auric field. So all these ways that yogis will feel this and report it to me, but it's all the same thing. They've lost the edge of themselves and they're beginning to expand. You see? That's the thing. This is the beginning of expansion. They are feeling themselves begin to expand, and it usually starts quite small. It's not that big, but it's the beginning of expansion, and it's huge. It's so big. It's such a big deal. So when you feel yourself in the air around you, you want to feel that and notice that and soak in that little bit of spaciousness that you are in. Soak it into yourself, and it will grow and grow and grow as you continue to be the holy potato and soak it into yourself. You might feel yourself in the intelligence of the divine, that the higher self, the intelligence of the divine, the presence of the divine, the consciousness of the divine is all around you. Soak in that. That is expansion. You might feel yourself falling into the nothing. It's kind of a collapse, right? We were going big and then it just it just collapses down into nothing. But that one little point, it is humongous. So even the nothing is an expansion. And then you might find yourself in silence. Oh my God, it's so delicious. Soak in the nothing. Soak in the silence. It's such a great break from the yada to yada to yada of everyday life. It is such a wonderful break. Oh my God, it's wonderful. We want that. Oh my God, soak it in. It's a mini vacation. Every single time it comes. Oh my God, it's a glorious vacation. You'll come back to yourself. It's like, I feel so great. Why do I feel so great? You went on vacation from the yada to yada to yada to yada. Oh my God, it's glorious. Soak that in. Soak it in. And it will come back easier and faster and deeper and more often. That's why we want to soak all of this. So I've given you these 4 levels to soak in. And you want those good things, right? I want to be a master of HRV resonance in the parasympathetic system. I want to be a master of sense withdrawal in the freeze response. I want to be a master of these absorption states, this expansion that I'm getting into. I want to master that. I want it all. I want these deep, glorious states. So you're going to put your mind on one point and forget about all of that, or you're going to notice those 4 tiers, right? Any of that, the deepest one. Which one do I really have right now? Soak in that. Be the holy potato. Soak it into yourself. Make it a part of you. Fall in love with it. My favorite quote, if you love something enough, it will give up its secrets to you. Soak in it. Soak in it. That's how you love it. That's how you love it. You soak in it. Be the holy potato. That's my recommendation. So use the medulla and use those good states. So now you have 5 things to do. 4 chapters and 1 point. And you don't have to do both. You don't have to do any certain thing. It's about noticing the good effects, those things which you want more of. Soak in them. Notice them. Be with them. Love them. And they will give up their secrets to you. You see? That's it. That's the secret of meditation. Soaking in those things. This is pure meditation when you do that. The technique was to get you to the true meditative state. These are true meditative states. So happy New Year. And if you would like to place this on your New Year's resolution, I am going to soak. I am going to become the holy potato this year. These are wonderful, wonderful states to soak in, and they will all lead you in the right direction. As Ashokji told me, follow bliss. It will always lead you in the right direction. So I hope you love this. If you did, be sure to hit that bell down below so I can see all of you.